a while, got drafted, hasn't played in an NBA game, I'd be all in on going out and getting a guy like that. I think it's going to be more to come. Before we let you go, though, conference play getting started later this week. For some teams, it's already started. But in the SEC right now, going into conference play, who is the best team currently in the SEC?
Well, you have to say Vanderbilt. As crazy as that may sound. Now, the caveat with Vandy is that they haven't played the brutal schedule that your Alabamas, your Auburns, your Tennessees, your Floridas, even your Kentuckys, like all these teams that I just mentioned played harder schedules. But if you go by the advanced metrics, like Vandy's still the best team in the league. And if you saw them play in Memphis, you're like, that doesn't make any sense. But I think that was their worst performance of the season. I mean, they did beat St. Mary's. They did beat SMU. They've beaten a couple of other decent, like, fringe tournament sort of teams. So right now it's Vandy. Over the long run, do I think Vandy wins the league? I would certainly take the field over Vandy. I would go with probably Florida or Alabama to win the league over the long run. Tennessee, Kentucky, they're going to be in the hunt. Arkansas is going to be in the hunt. That's where I draw the line, though. I'm not going any deeper than that. I mean, I think I gave you about 6 or 7 there who are really good teams. Now, outside of that, once you get down into that, like, all right, Georgia, LSU, they're fakers. Like, they've got great records, but I think they're pretend because they beat up on bad teams. And Auburn is I think they're in for a rude awakening post Bruce Pearl. They have taken some really, really bad losses. I don't view them as a contender. So, the league's just not as strong as it was a year ago. It really isn't. But yeah, I mean, you should have a competitive upper tier. And right now, I think you do have to say Vanderbilt is the best team. I'm not convinced they're going to be the ones who win the league.
David, tomorrow, Tennessee in the Music City Bowl. If they win, we can't wait till next year. If they lose, yawn, we didn't care. What's it represent tomorrow for the Big Orange?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of apathy from the Tennessee fans, a lot of frustration over unmet expectations, a lot of looking ahead to next season, wondering if, who's going to play quarterback. Are they going to make a run at Anthony Calandria in the portal? Is Joey Aguilar going to get another year based on the Pavia precedent? It's really a lot of next year's type of stuff. And I think Josh Heupel did the right thing by turning Tim Banks into the sacrificial lamb. Unfortunately, I think it reached a point where that fan base was getting pretty fed up with the defense. And I honestly think Tim Banks did a pretty good job at Tennessee over the entirety of Josh Heupel's tenure. But they needed something to, I think, reinvigorate the fan base a little bit, and going out and hiring Jim Knowles should do that. Now, as it pertains to playing Illinois in the Music City Bowl, if you win the game and you have a great performance, then I think you win some people back who are kind of off the wagon. But anything less than a blowout victory, I don't think it's going to move the needle one way or the other. Because even if you lose, I think so many people have already turned the page that they'll say what you say, Brett. It was, hey, we didn't really care. We were already checked out. So outside of a dominant performance where you have some young studs step up and really look the part, I just don't think that much of what Tennessee does in this game is going to matter.
No, I'm with you on that. And then you get to turn the page and immediately say, oh, transfer portal's open. Let's go and look at all of these great players that we're going to go out and get. So it might be a good time for that bowl game to happen for Tennessee. But, David, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Happy New Year to you and your family, and we'll talk to you again next Monday.
All right, guys, I appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David. And Brian, you're right. It immediately turned to the portal and turned kind of to the Twitter infographic of this or that guy signing with you.
Exactly.
And David touched on it, that a lot of the year, I'm sad to say, a lot of the football season, I don't think we really like and talk that much about the actual games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's moving in that direction.
Because that's conclusion, that's resolution, and people don't want that.
Yeah, no, and I mean, with kind of, unfortunately, everything that happens during the season now with, whatever it might be, I mean, that steals the headlines from the actual games that are being played.
And Brian, how many times did I say, Ole Miss fans, enjoy this, enjoy going to Norman and winning and beating whether they were that good or not, South Carolina and Florida, and going down and winning at Starkville. But everybody, if I swear, I wish I had $1 for every text I got from Ole Miss friends. Staying or leaving? Is he staying or leaving? Yeah. Never. Boy, how good did we look Saturday? How much fun was that Saturday? Nobody enjoys the here and now for worrying about all the stuff around that's going on around the sport.
Yeah, I mean, with everything going on, yeah, it's for whatever reason taken away a little bit from the actual games being played.
This is it, your last chance to upgrade your vehicle for less, and you got to do it at the year-end savings big event at Landers Ford in Collierville, the #1 Ford dealership in the Mid-South. Landers Ford, your trusted destination for the new 2025 Ford F-150, Explorer, Expedition, Mach-E, Transit, and Lightning. 0% APR available, 0 down payment.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
Taxes was feeling so stuck. Sitting in traffic, squeezing into a parking spot, all to squeeze in getting tax help during your lunch break. Now Taxes is a TurboTax expert who does your taxes for you, while you go about your day getting real-time notifications about their progress and the most money back guaranteed. Now this is Taxes. Intuit TurboTax. See guarantee details at TurboTax.com/guarantees. Only available with TurboTax experts. Real-time updates only in iOS mobile app.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Get ready for Monday Night Hustle at Lander Center. It's Spirit Night when the Memphis Hustle take on the Valley Suns. Tonight at 7 p.m. Get here for NBA G League action and enjoy a halftime performance from Epic Dance. Don't wait. Get great seats today at memphisHustle.com.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show. Right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South Sports Station.
Sports 56 traffic.
A little heavier than it was 15-20 minutes ago with that steady flow of traffic. 240 southbound as you work your way out of Midtown there at South Parkway. 240 getting on to 385 Bill Morris Parkway. That's getting a little bit heavier now, right on schedule. Headed on out towards Collierville. So has 40 east over here at Sycamore View Road, all the way out past Germantown Parkway. Hey, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital, leading the way the world understands, treats, and defeats childhood cancer. Log on to stjude.org. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
To Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Time for a look back at the weekend in the SEC. Brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies with 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood. Let's go inside the SEC with Bryant and Brett.
Chad Kelly in the gun formation. 3rd and inches for Ole Miss.
Carlton will kick it. It is on the way, and it is up.
Buck Bellew looking at it, going to pitch it to Herschel Walker, try to get him outside. He's going to get 5.
The snap is high. Kelly grabs it, wants to throw, fires it up in the air. Treadwell can't get it.
It is good! Oh, my!
And a deflection is caught. Deflection is caught. And down the sidelines is Adebayo. He's to the end zone. He's in there. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
He's got 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He needs a block. There goes Herschel. There goes Herschel.
And you can wrap this one in maroon and white, my friends.
Arkansas is headed to Atlanta. The national champion is clad in big orange.
Brian, I'm going to start with this. I don't want to hear any SEC teams. And I am sad to say, I think I hear it more from them than any other league. Mm-hmm. A loss? No, who cares? we didn't even know who was playing. And, if you're not in the playoffs, if you're not playing for it all, if you're not playing for first, then you're all losers. No, I don't want to hear any of that, because I know through the years when the SEC, when they have that big 9-2 bowl record, or even some 11-3, whatever it is, there's a lot of strutting and a lot of jersey popping when it goes that way. And I'm sad with David and with Pat Smith. I am sad I didn't get into it with either one of them about this subject. Not into it with them with friction, just bringing up the subject matter of, for a long time, the SEC was the king of college football, unarguable. All those championships, all those Heismans. But the last 2 years, we know it would have won it. Now, did 2 years for me, did that blur, obstruct, end all that other? No. Mm-hmm. But the baton a little bit got passed. If Big Ten goes 3 straight, I don't know how even the 20 years before that you can defend it, because it would be clear cut right now where the power is in college football.
Yeah, no, they're certainly on a roll, and another year where they're in a really good spot to win another one with a couple teams in there. So yeah, that'll definitely be something to watch throughout the rest of the playoffs.
Tax Slayer Gator Bowl goes Virginia's way. Wahoos win 13-7 over Mizzou. After the game, Mizzou, well, we're starting a quarterback we didn't even know was on the team practically. Blah blah blah. Now you never heard that from Mizzou when that Ohio State team in that Cotton Bowl with all those opt-outs, and they started a quarterback wearing like number 48 or something that night. Well, Mizzou, they win that game. We beat Ohio State. Well, you did, okay, but you got to take it as good as you gave it. In that they did have a lot of opt-outs, but they got out to a 7-0 early lead, and that was about it. Ahmad Hardy, 89 yards. And fussing all night on the sideline with every coach he could run into. You could even see Eli Drinkwitz trying to placate, go full Steve Kerr, don't get mad at me and walk out on me. Mizzou outrushed UVA, but Matt Zollers, whoever it was, at quarterback from Mizzou, threw interception, and Virginia got real good steady play from Chandler Morris, son of Chad. UVA, they get the win and finish 11-3. Eli Drinkwitz 8-5 after winning 21 games the previous 2 years in Columbia, or as everybody on the SEC network feels compelled to say, Como.
Yeah, Como, love that. You're right. Everyone does say Como, and it is it's
dollar for every time Peter Burns says it.
Yeah.
And Brian, on Christmas morning, were you thinking for a little while that winning Powerball ticket bought in Arkansas, did you think Brett may have had it?
I thought about it. I almost texted you and asked, but hey, that's something I tell people all the time. If I win the lottery, you're never going to find out I won the lottery, because I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to take that money and I'm going to do whatever I want with it. So I didn't want to get into your business about it, but I was hoping you were the winner. But yeah, if you took $1 for every time someone on SEC Network said Como, you'd have more money than the lottery winner.
Especially from Peter Burns. He cannot say Columbia, Missouri. He can't say Columbia, Mo. It's got to be Como. You would not believe the number of people that were texting me that day. Please tell me you got the ticket. Please tell me you were the winning ticket. And no, I wouldn't go public, but you're not getting into my business, Bryant, because if I had won, my business would be your business, and you'd have a piece of the pie.
Well, I appreciate that. That is
and Landon.
Yes, that is very nice of you. But yeah, I didn't want. I mean, because that would have been a beautiful Christmas morning for you if you had won or whoever had won. I didn't want to get in your business. I felt like if it was my information to know, I would eventually find out that you're the winner of it.
You would not believe the text that I got Christmas Day. And I knew it wasn't me because, if you don't have the Powerball number,
sure,
it doesn't matter what all those other, I guess you probably would win a piece of something, which would be more than we all could imagine.
Absolutely.
But you don't win the big prize if you have that. And every time I do buy one, I don't buy a single Powerball ticket until it gets to 400 or higher.
Yeah.
Because anything under that would just make me a jerk, and I'd rather die 1,000 deaths than die being a jerk. So. But I always look at the Powerball number and I equate it to Cardinal baseball.
Okay.
Kind of like with Pat Smith with the kind of the immaculate grid game we're going to play from now on. And I like that. And I knew my Powerball number was 2. Well, 2 in Cardinal world for me is Red Shane Dinks.
Yeah.
And I saw the number was 19 and I knew I didn't have it.
I knew it
So
wasn't.
if you don't have that, you don't have anything.
Yeah, and I guess that makes it easy to keep up with, right?
A little bit like LSU.
Ooh.
LSU just finished 7-6.
Yeah.
LSU really, except for Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman, that's a big exception. They hadn't hit a loud foul since Ed Orgeron won at 19. They finished 7-6. Was Garrett Nussmeier even on the sideline?
I didn't see him if he was there. He might not have been there.
They lose 38-35 in the Kinders Texas Bowl.
Yeah, it was a good stab at it, I guess. I don't know. Maybe.
Help me with pronunciation. Willie Fritz, he wins over LSU in all this coaching carousel. If you can hire 66-year-old, and I applaud Michigan for hiring Kyle Whittingham. I'm not as bullish on it as Pat Smith because Kyle Whittingham, he may be a different 66, but I can guarantee you, at 66, something hurts, something happens that didn't happen to you at 56. And Michigan, you're fighting a young man's racket. And okay, fine, but why don't more people go after Willie Fritz at a ever so young age of 62?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I mean, we're starting to kind of see the old is the new young with some of these coaching hires over the last couple of years. So. I mean, look what he did with Houston, and we've talked a lot about those 3 teams that left the American and went to the Big 12. It's been a struggle, especially in football, for those 3 teams, and for them to be in the top 25, be 10-3 on the season with this bowl win. He's done a phenomenal job at Houston.
Connor Wigman, 4 touchdowns. The A&M transfer, 236 yards. Barry and Brown started the game with the kickoff return. Michael Van Buren was pretty solid for LSU, but they finished 7-6. Just a disaster for them this year. And BK out, LK in, and at Death Valley on September the 5th against Clemson. Barry and Brown, I thought he was the number 1 portal get for anybody out there in college football last year. Do you want to y'all want to take a stab at his touchdowns receiving this year? Barry and Brown, hot shot at Kentucky. I thought the number 1 portal player. Y'all want to tell me how many reception touchdowns he had this year?
Lan, if you want to give it a guess, I have no clue.
I'm feeling drawn to the number 3.
Okay, I like 3.
Lower.
1.
1 is it.
Wow.
Against Southeast Louisiana.
All right, Selah.
Look at him go.
Yeah. Yeah. That's,
Can you believe that?
Ooh, yeah, that's not good at all. But hope he got paid. We'll talk about those SEC teams. They might be the king of that game didn't matter. We're excited about the offseason. I mean, they just move right on to the next page.
They're the kings of, so far, the decade of the 20s don't matter.
That's true. That is a very good point. So,
and LSU used to get in Alabama's faces about, all y'all talk about is yesterday. Ole Miss, all y'all talk about is yesterday. Well, we're moving on that LSU. All they can talk about is the one Saban won, the one Miles won, and Ed Orgeron hitting the Powerball of Lucky, and the one that meathead stumbled into.
Incredible, insane. I think there's a lot of words you could use to describe it, but yeah, they take the loss. A really bad season for them, and and we'll see what they can do this offseason.
Now, that's a look back at the weekend that was in the SEC Big Week ahead. Tennessee and Illinois tomorrow in the Liberty Mutual Music City Bowl in Nashville. On Wednesday, the ReliaQuest Bowl, Iowa against Indiana at 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock on Wednesday, Michigan and Texas. They also play on Wednesday, and then Thursday, Bama IU in the Rose Bowl, and Georgia and Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl at Sissy's Log Cabin. They are the official jeweler of the hometown teams, like the Grizzlies, the official jeweler for the Grizzlies, and at FedEx Forum with the floor seat lounge since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood with expanded lines for Rolex, Cartier, diamonds, and more. Christmas just ending, but here comes the season of love and the Valentine season at Sissy's Log Cabin, the Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
Yeah, we're going to get a lot of SEC these next couple of days in the bowl games. You just mentioned a lot coming up. So it should be a lot of fun. Tennessee, Vanderbilt, some teams in the area playing, and then obviously with the playoffs, we've talked a lot about the playoffs. Will be a lot of fun on New Year's Day.
Let's pick the Liberty Music City Bowl. Tennessee minus 2.5 over Illinois. First matchup ever in football between these two.
Yeah, they just met on the hardwood a couple weeks ago, so we'll see how this one goes. Landon, do you wanna start us off with?
Sure, I'm gonna rock with the SEC. I'm going Tennessee.
Okay. I will go.
Shockingly, same for me.
Okay. I'll go with Illinois on this one. I'll take Fighting Illini.
Take Big Bert and the Illini. I am 16-11 going into today's game. Bryant and Landon, y'all both are 13-14. On group locks, we are 4-7.
Okay. All right. Do we want to, while you have everything out, do we want to go ahead and pick the first game tomorrow as well and get the picks behind us?
What is the first game tomorrow?
Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech in the Independence Bowl. Right now, La Tech.
Oh, we do have to pick that. I'm sorry, Bryant. Great catch. Louisiana Tech minus 9.5 over Coastal. Give me Lulu Tech.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Louisiana Tech as well. Group lock?
Well, let's try to increase that group block. I'm going with LA Tech as well.
Why not? I love it. Group block there.
Thank you for catching that, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, would not want to miss Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech. I mean, that one's going to be a.
See, I'm not even Kyle Whittingham's age, and I'm 3 years the junior of Kyle Whittingham, and it was catching me.
Well, hey, we were talking SEC segment. Understandable that you're not focused on Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech. So do not feel bad at all. But we need to get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Celebrate the new year with the AutoZone Liberty Bowl as we welcome the nationally ranked Navy Midshipmen and the Cincinnati Bearcats to the biggest party in town. Great football and a halftime show featuring country music star Matt Stell. It's all happening at the 67th AutoZone Liberty Bowl game on Friday, January 2nd at 3:30. Get your tickets today by calling 795-7700. During the holidays, the Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. Let me ask you something. Are you seeing unsightly water spots on your ceiling, in your home, your office, or even worse, mold? Have you noticed shingles missing, pieces in your yard, or signs your roof just doesn't look right anymore? Here's the facts. What you see inside usually means there's already a bigger problem above you. At Metro Builders, we don't just guess, we inspect. Our team performs a full roof inspection right on site. We take detailed photos, document everything, and show you exactly what's happening with your roof. Whether it's a simple repair or a full replacement, don't let anyone tell you it needs to be replaced when all it needs is a repair. We offer free inspections, on-the-spot estimates, clear explanations, and yes, financing is available. Before a small issue turns into major damage, make the phone call that protects your home. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. Or check us out online at metrobuildersmemphis.com. Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We don't just build, we build world class.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Merry-go-round in dreams, ride someday.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brown. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
What up, big guy? I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, Brett, my big number today comes from college basketball. I found this big number watching a game yesterday afternoon, and when I saw them put it on the screen, I said, that is too good. I don't care how obscure this game may or may not be. I am bringing that up for my big number of the day. So my big number today is the number 1936. That is the year 1936, of course, and it comes from the Colorado and Northern Colorado game yesterday afternoon on the hardwood. Northern Colorado beat Colorado 86-81 in Boulder. It is the first time Northern Colorado has beaten Colorado anywhere, home, away, neutral, wherever. First time they've beaten Colorado since February 18th, 1936. A lot has changed since 1936.
It really has. 1936 was the year the AP college football poll started.
How about that? Wow. So
1936 was
a really long time ago, and so I could not believe it when I saw that.
1936 Summer Olympics, as I have people always checking, going, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Summer Olympics in Berlin, basketball played outdoors.
All right. I love that. That is great. I don't know if I'd love it if I was a player, but hey, might as well, right?
And had rain, which made the court a little tacky, muddy, spongy.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. That's when it
not well thought out.
No. That's when you get rain in the forecast. That's when things can go ugly when playing outdoor basketball.
And I'm not kidding here. Trust me. In the 30s, the Germans did a lot worse than playing basketball at the Olympics outdoors. My big number is 11, as in the 11th Ole Miss Sugar Bowl all time. First played in the Sugar Bowl in 1952. Well, after the 52 season, New Year's Day of 53, lost to Georgia Tech. How about these names? Quarterback for Georgia Tech that day. The old head coach of the Showboats, and a good guy, Pepper Rogers.
Right.
Offensive coordinator for Georgia Tech that day, Frank Broyles.
Really? Wow.
Ole Miss 11 Sugar Bowl appearances, the fourth most. Bama, they're at number 1 with 17. Then LSU and Georgia tied for second with 13, and then Ole Miss in fourth with 11.
Wow, that's a good big number. It's gonna be a lot of fun. You're already down there in New Orleans. How's the weather in New Orleans? I have no idea what's going on in New Orleans right now.
Unbelievable. Yesterday it was that warm. We had today the big front moving through. I'm not kidding you. Walking with the wind at your back down Canal, I think my feet left the ground.
Really?
I think it moved me. I really do. I weigh about 175, but it's not very heavy. But not.
Wow. Yeah, it's freezing here, and it was
the big front moved through, didn't it?
It was a rude awakening
from the North Pole to the Gulf of Mexico, didn't it?
Yeah, no, it came through. I saw somebody posted last night. I don't remember what page it was, but it was some Memphis weather page, and they said that it dropped like 20 degrees in like 20 minutes. I mean, it was a crazy drop in temperature last night.
And it's not unusual for us to have this. In fact, today is 43 years ago today, speaking of big numbers, that Coach Bear Bryant coached in his last game in Memphis in the Liberty Bowl and won his final game. the Liberty Bowl used to have a great social event out at McKellar Lake called the Liberty Bowl Regatta, a sailing event.
Yeah.
That year, that day was sailing weather. It was probably 72 and sunny and very nice. And the closer we got to kickoff, I mean, the thermometer was plunging for Bears' last game. And 43 years ago tonight was his last game.
How about that?
And for until the Grizzlies moved here, I think it was the biggest sporting event ever in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Not the biggest sporting event that anybody from Memphis had ever been involved in, because 73 Final Four had topped that,
Mm-hmm.
but that was in St. Louis. Until the Grizzlies tipped off opening night and we were finally in the major leagues, I thought Bears' last game was the biggest sporting event ever in Memphis.
I would agree with that. I mean, it was a huge moment, and one that I heard about, all growing up from different people. So I would have to agree with that as being the biggest. Well, we need to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, let me remind you it is a perfect time right here before the New Year's, maybe after New Year's. Head down to Olive Branch and check out Frontier Western Store. Family owned and operated since 1967, Frontier Western is your one-stop shop for all the biggest brands in Western wear. The one-stop shop for Carhartt in the Mid-South, but they've also got you covered with plenty of other brands when it comes to shirts, shorts, jeans, outerwear, whatever you're looking for, they've got it in stock. But if you need a new pair of jeans, well, Frontier has you covered with all the biggest brands from Ariat all the way down to Wrangler, and you'll love how easy it is to find the perfect size and style for you. While you're down there, check out Frontier's world-famous boot showroom. Whether it's work boots or dress boots, Frontier has you covered for the entire family with plenty of in-stock proven classics like Ariat, Dan Post, and Durango, and that's just to name a few. Frontier's pricing is lower than online and chain stores, so you know you'll be getting the best deals. So head down to 5880 Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Check out the entire selection. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Sundays, 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. for Frontier Western Store. Well, let's get to another break, wrap up this second hour, and when we return, we're talking the Grizzlies to Michael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He joins us next.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar base. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef, and she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with a perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Save big on Club Car Wash's Best Wash this Tuesday for just $12. Stop by any 4 club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com to learn more.
Club Car Wash, join the club.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. TDOT knows help trucks out here with a couple of problems as traffic builds south of Memphis. Down 55 pushing on into DeSoto County. It's already stop and go. Certain sections of Sam Cooper right now going outbound, especially here up by Perkins. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry wants you to know they are your full-service family-owned jewelry store. Shop local, save a ton of money at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. We got to talk the Grizzlies, and joining us to do that, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, DeMichael Cole. He joins us now. DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. The Grizzlies took a loss last night, another loss to the Washington Wizards, a sweep this year now against the Washington Wizards. What have you seen in these last two games? I mean, this is a Washington team that has won 7 games now this season, 7-23 on the year. What did you see last night? What have you seen in these 2 games against the Wizards?
Well, one thing is the Grizzlies have won a lot of games this year, and against the bottom tier teams, and in a lot of those wins, the Grizzlies would either match or possibly even exceed the energy of those teams. Whereas when they've played against Washington, Washington has been the team that has just seemed to be the one with the extra, oomph and energy. Like the last game, it was fair a little bit. The Grizzlies were down to like 8 bodies. Guys were hurt and whatnot. But in this game, I mean, not only did Washington have the advantage, from the energy and the effort standpoint, but there also just felt like there were stylistic and talent advantages, like with Alex Sarr and Champagne and their rebounding ability. It was like, well, the Grizzlies don't have Jock Landale and they don't have Zach Edey. So it's like, what's the answer to this rebounding advantage that we're seeing? And, it's just, I think they got outworked, but they couldn't do anything with Washington on the glass.
Couldn't do anything with them. The Grizzlies now, DeMichael, stand at 15-17. I'm not going to go too wild with this, but the Grizzlies' record could easily be around 18, 14, 17, 15 instead of 2 under, and it feels like that dig to get to 500 just gets harder. Now Philadelphia comes in And then you go on the back-to-back road games against the Lakers. When you get back home, San Antonio and Phoenix, I don't know when they ever will get over 500.
This was the time to do it, Brett. They missed the swing twice.
It was.
You should have beat Washington on December 20th at home. You would have been 500 then before playing OKC. And then now that you lose this one, you're 15-17, and you just touched on it. But we're talking about a stretch here coming up where you got 6 consecutive games against teams that are currently, over 500. So it is. Here come the big boys, so to speak. And this is going to be a really tough stretch for Memphis, and it doesn't get much easier after that. That's the other thing here. After that 6-game slate, you get the Brooklyn Nets, who, by the way, have won 3 in a row right now. But you'll get a Brooklyn team that you should beat. Then out there, you get the Magic twice, on the trip to Europe. You get the Hawks, the Pelicans, and then boom, it's the Nuggets, it's the Rockets. You also get the Timberwolves again in January. So January is going to be tough. This is a very tough slate coming up, and then early February is tough as well. You get the Timberwolves. You got to go on the road to Portland twice. You got to go on the road to Golden State. You got to go on the road to Denver. All of this is prior to, the end of the first half of the season. So, look, this was the opportunity to get over 500 and try to, stay there. Now you're playing catch-up, and I'm with you. I don't know when it's going to happen. Quite frankly, this is when you really need some of those guys to get back because you're really about to go into a tough stretch here.
And just to make the playoffs, I don't see how, it's the tough spot the Grizzlies are in because just to make the playoffs, it is there and doable. I don't know how you're going to miss it because there are some really, really bad teams behind the Grizzlies right now in the standings. This may be the worst bottom of the West ever. We used to be so proud of in the West that you could go 10, 11, 12 deep. I don't know that you can do that. You sure can't go anywhere past that. So you may make the playoffs, but you're just facing Nowheresville in the playoffs. If you struggled and got to the 8th seed, well, you open against. That's Oklahoma City. That's 4-0 named to score. If you're the 7, it's maybe salvage 1 against San Antonio and a young Wemby and the other 4 named to score.
Yeah, and or you get Denver, which isn't much of a break. So yeah, the top of the West is really good. Those teams that we just mentioned, I think, are championship contenders. But yeah, the Grizzlies have put themselves in a position where they kind of separate themselves a little bit, from the bottom tier. What I'm really going to be curious to see as the season continues to play out is if you look at a lot of those bottom tier teams in the West, what type of progress are those teams going to make? Because looking at those teams, there are a couple teams down there, and who knows if this will happen, but, we're speaking, a couple months here, 3 months here in advance, but there are a couple teams down there that I think you could end up saying, they're playing their best basketball of the season come March, come April. Portland got off to a strong start this season when Drew Holiday was healthy. Since Drew Holiday has been out, they've come back down to earth. He should be back here sometime soon. So what will they look like when they get Drew Holiday back into the fold? The Mavs, if Kyrie, I think they said there's going to be an update on Kyrie in January. Depending on what that update is. What if he's able to return around the All-Star break? I think there's been reports from Mark Stein that said, the Mavs want to see what Kyrie, Anthony Davis, and Cooper Flagg look like as a trio before they make any significant moves. But what if he solidifies that point guard spot to go along with Cooper Flagg and Anthony Davis? You're saying, hold up now, they got a little something working over here. And the Clippers have won 4 in a row. Look, I'm still out on the Clippers. I think they just got a nice little streak going here. But I did see Kawhi Leonard say, look, I've never had to shoot the ball this much in my career, and this is what this team requires of me. So Kawhi gets it now that he can't be that unselfish player that he's been, that he came up, to be when he was playing in San Antonio and whatnot. He's got to go get it. He's got to be a shot hunter. So, those teams all have room for improvement, but so do the Grizzlies. So do the Grizzlies. I think at the end of the day, right now, with Memphis sitting at 9, the goal should be to try to get into the top 6. It's going to be hard because 7 and 8 is achievable. You got the Suns at 7 right now. You got the Warriors at 8. You're still 3.5 games behind the Suns, but you're 4.5 behind the Timberwolves at 6, and that's where there's a gap. The Timberwolves are 20 and 12. The Grizzlies are 15 and 17. So there's a sizable gap between the top 6, really the top 7 if you consider the Suns as well. And I mean, the Grizzlies should be hoping to, get healthy here and somehow get in that conversation to kind of make the most of this season, I would say.
Yeah. You talk about those injuries. We saw Kentavious Caldwell-Pope go down with an injury last night. He went to the locker room. He came back out in street clothes. Now, just a couple minutes ago, Grizzlies PR putting out the status report for tomorrow night's game. KCP out with a right hamstring soreness. What did you make of what you saw with the KCP injury last night, and kind of what do you think the timeline looks like for him?
Yeah, not really sure. We do know he's not going to play in this upcoming game, so we'll learn more, I think, probably in the next couple of days. What we do know is just over the course of his career, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you go over the last 13 years, there haven't been many players who have been as reliable, as consistent, and as steady from the standpoint of being available. I don't think he's ever missed more than 6 games in an NBA season. If you go over the course of his career, over the last, I think, 5 seasons prior to this one, he hasn't missed more than 6 games. 76 games is the least amount that he played. And if you go to, I think he had a season where he played 74 of 82, so I think 8 games is the most he's missed in a season. But for the most part, this is a guy who's played over 70 games pretty much every year of his career, except the 2 shortened seasons. And in those 2 shortened seasons, he played 69 and 67, basically available for pretty much the whole thing. So, look, this guy is I mean, you talk about availability. He has been that, but we'll see. I think the big thing here is this is another injury on the wing. Like we talked about the injuries at point guard, we talked about the injuries at the center spot, but this is kind of the first time this season where the Grizzlies have kind of just been, knocked like this at the wings, to the point where Gigi Jackson, Olivier Maxence, Prosper, and those guys are really going to be factored into the equation.
Yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see those minutes you talk about. Guys getting back healthy. We've seen Ja Morant back after he missed a couple of games. Back the last 2 games. There's been some good. There's been some bad in these last couple of games. What have you been seeing from Ja Morant?
I mean, I think we've seen him kind of the efficiency is ticked up a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think that's been the biggest takeaway in this last game. He knocked down a couple of 3-pointers. In the game before that, he didn't even take any. So I think that has been a positive there that you can take away. I think Ja's still finding his way, and the team's still kind of figuring out how and where, to mix him in. And that's going to be one of the biggest developments, to me. For example, I don't have the numbers out in front of me yet, and I really haven't looked at them because I need a bigger sample size. Mm-hmm. But when we get to those late in the game situations, I don't like the Ja Morant Cam Spencer combination. Just have not liked what we've seen when they go to that late in games. And Cam Spencer, when you talk about how good he's been of late, it's been primarily with the ball in his hands, being a decision maker, whether that's coming off a screen, pulling up to shoot a 3-pointer, or getting into the paint and making a decision for himself or his teammates, other guys. But when he's playing off of Ja, it's a very simplified role for him, and which if he gets a wide open catch and shoot opportunity, he's probably going to knock it down. But still, you're not getting the maximized offensive version of him in that role. So when you factor in you're not getting the maximized offense, then you got to go on the other end, and you're getting limited defense from the duo of Ja Morant and Cam Spencer. It just begs the question, is it worth having Jalen Wells and Cedric Coward or one of those guys off the floor in that situation when you know you're going to be limited on the defensive end? So, the sample size feels small, but I think that's the big thing going back to Ja is just They're figuring out how to close games with him, who to put around him, and he's figuring out just those things as well. But these last two games have been much better, especially from an efficiency standpoint. We're talking about a stretch before this where he was just having game after game after game where he shot below 40%. And now you look at these last two games, 6 of 11, 2 games ago, 8 of 16. So 2 games shooting at least 50% for the field consecutively. I think that's the first time this season he's done that.
To Michael, other than the most obvious, good health, playing time, for Ja and Jaren, Brian just asked you, what have you seen from him? What do we need to see from them going forward for Ja and Jaren to play well and the Grizzlies maybe win 43, 44 games and maybe get to the 6 or 7 seed?
You're going to need both of them to stay aggressive. Like, I don't want either of them becoming passive to the point where they're deferring too much to their other teammates. And not only be aggressive, but be effective in that aggressiveness. You don't want to, get wild with your aggressiveness. But, for example, like, I think Ja, his first game back, we just saw him constantly feeding the ball to Jaren Jackson Jr., telling other guys, hey, go to this side so we can get Jaren, the ball in the post on a clear side so he could just go whichever way he wants to go. If he wants to go left, he wants to go right. If he wants to, back up his dribble to the three-point line. He can do whatever he wants because he has a cleared outside. Ja did a really good job of kind of setting the table and allowing Jaren to beat, that guy. So I think Ja will have to continue to do that because Ja's going to get his. He's a point guard. He gets downhill. Ja's going to get his. So it's making sure that Jaren continues to get, nice, efficient touches. It's the recognition, right? Ja talked a lot about how when Jaren had mismatches, I think it was a couple games ago, it was Gary Harris on Jaren in the post, and Jaren was about to just, casually just jog to the three-point line because Ja had the ball. I guess he was thinking, let me space the floor for Ja. And then Ja looks at him, and Ja's like, no, and he's pointing to the paint, like, go to the paint. And then Jaren seals Gary Harris. Ja throws it in the paint. Boom, easy 2 points. So it's just things like that where they're understanding that they have to be on the same page and they have to be the enforcers from an aggressive standpoint on the offensive end to make this thing work.
Of those two, I'm going to go to Ja first. If if he doesn't play aggressive, or if he plays overly aggressive, aren't we in fear of another injury? And Jaren, when he gets passive, it looks like he gets disinterested.
Yeah, I'll start with Jaren and work backwards because, when Jaren gets passive, I think there's some validity to that because even if you think about it from the numbers standpoint, if you looked at lately, not only has Jaren's scoring went up, his count defensive stats have jumped as well. And I think that kind of goes into your point, Brett, about, sometimes Jaren can look disinterested because, when he wasn't scoring much, earlier this season, he wasn't really blocking a lot of shots. He wasn't getting as many steals and deflections as we're used to seeing. But it's just funny how that stuff works because if you go to that breakout game, you remember he had that breakout game against the Clippers. That was the one everyone said, oh, that's the Jaren Jackson Jr. that I remember. Not only did he have 31 points in that game, he had 5 blocks. First time he had 5 blocks in over a month, when he did that. And then every since then, if you go to his block total since then, he had the 5-block game, he had a 3-block game, then he had games with 0 and 1. Then you go to the last 3 games, 3 blocks, 5 blocks, 4 blocks. Same thing with the steals. He's had a steal in each of these games, over this last few stretch as he scored the basketball more. But if you go a little bit further down and you see some of those games where he has 12 points, 10 points, and things like that, you're going to start to see, a couple games with 0 blocks, a couple games with 1 block. So, yeah, I do think that there's a correlation there that when Jaren is getting the ball on the offensive end, you get the most engaged version of him, and it kind of shows with his defense. And then, with Ja, I don't think you have to worry about him being over-aggressive from the standpoint of it leading to an injury because I'll flip it around and say this. I'm almost to the point where, I wonder what the team thinks, like in terms of the coaches and things like that. And this coaching staff hasn't been around long enough, so, I mean, it's not like they have the viewpoint of a Taylor Jenkins or whatever. But, you know, to remember how Ja used to go to the rim the way that he did, and now, you know, there have been, I don't know how many times, but there have been several times where Ja has said to the media, said to us something of the sort like, hey, I didn't, you know, drive to the basket because I thought I was going to get undercut, or this guy undercut me and the referee didn't say anything. Or there's been several variances of that to the point where I'm of the opinion that I don't know if we're going to see that over-aggressive version of Ja Morant because he doesn't trust that the officials, you know, will protect him, or he doesn't trust that, you know, his body, you know, will be taken care of in those situations, you know, because of the possibility of getting injured. So,
DeMichael, I don't trust it either because he's 6'2", he's 6 foot and 175, and we've seen him get plastered.
Yeah, and we've seen it. I mean, we saw Koloko knock him out the year. We saw Anthony Davis. We saw Lou Dort. That's just the first three that popped in my head, just that quick. And all of those times he ended up injured. And so it's a fair thing, but I don't know if we'll ever get that. I don't know what the word is. I guess, for lack of better words, that just reckless, abandoned Ja Morant who violently goes to the rim, you know, looking to put guys on posters. I don't know if we'll ever get that version of him again because of those things.
DeMichael, last week when you joined us, I think I asked some question around Christian Koloko and Gigi Jackson and when and if we would see them in the next couple of games. Well, I think that night we saw both of them in action. What have you thought of what you've seen, especially from Christian Koloko on the 10-day and Gigi Jackson back with the team?
Yeah, just a couple guys taking advantage of the opportunity, right? With Koloko, he's giving them some solid rim protection on the defensive end. Offensively, you can see kind of that, you know, like there have been a couple times where Ja's done some quick, like, you know, passes to him, and it's like there isn't a chemistry there yet. There's been some opportunities, you know, he's caught some alley-oops and things like that. But you can see offensively is where, you know, more progression, it's just tough, you know, in 10 days. Whereas defensively, he can be a little bit further along for what his role is. You know, he's pretty much just protecting the rim and whatnot. So he's been solid given the circumstances. I mean, the Grizzlies did not think in no way, shape, or form that he was going to be playing this much. But the Jock Landale situation has come up, and they've needed him. You know, so there's that. And then with Gigi Jackson, it's just a guy who, again, they need him too because John Conchar is out. And now we just talked about it with Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, you know, being out as well. Vince Williams Jr. is out. So I remember earlier in the season when Gigi wasn't playing, and everyone was like, why isn't Gigi playing? We have all these injuries. And Tomas Isolo pointed out, he's like, yeah, you know, basically we have a lot of injuries, but most of them are at guard, and most of them are at center. And Gigi Jackson doesn't play either of those positions. Well, fair point, right? You still got Vince Williams in front of him. You got Cedric Howard, Jalen Wells, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, John Conchar, all those guys. Like, okay, it's fair point. Now, do I think he should be playing more? Probably, but, you know, it's a fair point to make at least. Now that Vince is out, now that all those guys that I just mentioned are hurt, Gigi Jackson is getting the opportunity, he's taking advantage of it. I think, you know, the offense, we know what that is. It's about how can he impact the game in other areas. We just saw, you know, have 4 steals. You know, that was, you know, a big moment for him. We've seen the rebounding a couple games ago where he had 9 rebounds. He's had some incredible block shots. So he's showing defensive activity in a bunch of different ways, whether it's with his rebounding, whether it's, you know, blocking the shot, or whether it's getting steals. So if he continues to do that, the offense will continue to come along, and he'll really carve out a role for this team.
Yeah, no, I think he has looked really, really good in these last couple of games. DeMichael, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Happy New Year, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, take care, guys.
Thanks, DeMichael.
Thank you.
DeMichael Cole joining us, talk a lot of things, pretty much all things Grizzlies, and a lot to talk about kind of everything going on right now.
And during that segment, it's official. Georgia Southern goes final, a group lock win. We take our record to 5-7, just like that.
Gotta love that. I mean, anytime you can get that group lock win, we're all about that. And now for Appalachian State, I mean, a very rare 5-8 record to end the season. How about that?
Well, if I remember one of those.
Yeah, no, it's got to be up there in the record book somewhere as one of the most obscure end of season records.
Grizzlies trying to get to 500. You and Landon both did on the all-important bowl picks. Y'all are now both 14-14. I'm at 17-11, so +3. Could be blood tomorrow with Tennessee with me and you, Bryant. Landon and I are the same, and then another group lock trying to. Yeah. Y'all are going to group lock me all the way. I got you dormy.
Yeah, well, I tried to go the other side with the Tennessee game, but I don't know what I've heard on the Coastal Carolina, which might make me think that we might all be on the wrong side based on how some of these other bowl games have played out. But it feels like it might be a rough one for Coastal Carolina tomorrow.
A mountain of picks tomorrow, and also tomorrow our friend Brad Bellamy is going to join us from Landers Ford with some end of the year great conversation about everything they got going at Landers Ford and some Landers locks.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
I was about to say, great conversation. Always love talking with Brad Bellamy, but we know what we want out of him. It's those picks. It's those Landers locks.
We want to sell cars. There's good deals, but we want those locks too.
Right.
You can have both.
We can have both, and we get both with Brad Bellamy. So that will be a lot of fun tomorrow afternoon. But we got to get to a break here in a second. Before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsor. It's Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out those brand new models like the Range Rover Sport, the Range Rover Velar, and the Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to JaguarBluffCity.com, but head out there, test drive these vehicles. 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quince, for Bluff City Jaguar. Well, we need to get to another break. When we return, it's all things Monday Night Football. We'll make our pick. We'll preview tonight's game. We'll also get to our Big Four all-time for both the Rams and the Falcons. We do that next on Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Everything today is technologically based. Well, except maybe you. If you're struggling with tech, no matter what kind, call Tech For You. Tech For You for TVs, home theaters, cameras, smart locks, digital storage, and more. Tech For You makes it simple and affordable. Call 697-9695. Make your home safe, comfortable, and up to date with Tech For You. Stop struggling with tech. Call 697-9695. Veteran-owned and operated Tech For You. Technology simplified.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it to the Brr months, and that means even more savings at Family Leisure. Why is this time of the year the best time of the year to shop at Family Leisure? Because Family Leisure has new stuff coming, so they need to make room. Need a cover for your hot tub? How convenient. Family Leisure has them starting at just $249. Need new spa steps or a cover lift? Family Leisure has those as well, starting at just $99. Let's say you don't have a hot tub or you want a new one. Pick yours right now, starting at $24.99. Get your laps in with a swim spa, and prices start at under $15,000. In-stock patio furniture, that's up to 50% off. Plus, if you need special financing, Family Leisure's got you covered. One final thing. Tell the folks at Family Leisure you heard this radio commercial. You get a free gift with a hot tub purchase. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want to boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Turn things all the way up and find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
As a fan, you know all the important sports cliches. And when you save money by bundling your home and auto with Progressive, you can get out there and give it 110%, even though that's mathematically impossible. And remember, failure is not an option. Well, it's always an option, just not a good one. But you're not worried because you've got ice in your veins. You're on fire. How can both of those things be true at the same time? Well, that's between you and your doctor. So get out there and leave it all on the field. Leave what? Who cares? Just leave it and save with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good evening. Heavier traffic volume out here on 40 East coming past Sycamore View Road as you work your way all the way out to Canada Road. Watching that traffic increase headed on out into Fayette County out there at New Airline Road. We had some radar hanging around out there earlier in that section of I-40 as you head into Fayette County. South of Memphis, same thing. We had to deal with that earlier as well. 55 down in parts of DeSoto County. Hey, download the Zips Car Wash app right now and get a free car wash. Check out zipscarwash.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Another Monday Night Football game tonight. The Rams and the Falcons going to put a wrap on Week 17. A programming note, we will not have the Monday Night Football game tonight on Sports 56. That's because Ole Miss basketball will be on the air as they are playing Alcorn State later tonight. We'll have complete coverage of that game. So if you're looking for the NFL game tonight, you will not be able to listen to it here on Sports 56, but it should be a fun game. Rams and Falcons right now. We're going to play it off of the Rams as a 7.5-point favorite. Should be fun tonight down in Atlanta.
It should be. It puts a wrap on Week 17. It puts a wrap on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, that's right.
Regular season for this year.
Yeah.
We'll have one wild card game on Monday night in 2 weeks. Yeah, Monday night, January, what is it, 25, 26?
Yep.
Today, Monday, Sunday. I totally lost track.
Well, it's that time of year to kind of lose track of everything, right?
2 weeks from tonight, we will have a wild card game on Monday night, so we will pick it. And then 3 weeks from tonight, I guess we'll play the same intro, but we'll pick the college game and have the Big Four all time for the two college teams.
All right, that will be fun. Hopefully, I don't know. Some of these teams, if we get like an Indiana, I don't know if I can make any promises on the Big Four.
After Fernando Mendoza, can you name another Indiana player all time?
I don't know.
Vaughn Dunbar,
I don't know how deep my bag goes on greatest Hoosiers
Ben
of
Jarvis
all
Green
time.
Ellis before he transferred to Ole Miss.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'll have if they make it to the national championship.
Rams minus 7.5. The Rams, can they still be the 1 seed? Or is that just Seattle Niners?
I am not sure. Let's see. I do not know. No, they cannot. I don't think they can. I do not think.
But they can still be a real good seed. Win
Sure,
tonight, win
yeah.
next week. That'd be 13 wins. And I saw this number today with adding the extra game, and it just makes mathematical sense that if you add that extra game, better teams will feast on the lesser teams.
Yeah.
And it has showed that with this year in the NFL. Trying to find that exact number. It was from our buddy Nick Suss at the Tennessean that covers the Titans. And his tweet says this: does it feel like the NFL's race to the bottom is more crowded than usual this year? And we touched on that. And he said, he answers his own question. It is. 7 teams sit at 4-12 or worse heading into Week 18. Since NFL schedules expanded to 16 games in 1978, that would tie the record for most teams failing to reach 5 wins in a season.
Wow. Okay. Huh.
And the more you play, and I don't know that the NFL factored that in because they loved all these wild playoff scenarios. Next week is down to 2 games for in or out, and a couple for various seedings, whether you're the 3 or the 6, and that really matters. I'm not diminishing it, but used to the NFL, and they would pump out those playoff scenarios. And Brian, I'm not kidding you, it would get down to, and if Team X wins by 92 points, while Team Y ties, then they're still in it.
Yeah.
That's not even realistic.
But we're going to get nowhere close to that this next Sunday with Week 18. And I think it takes a little bit of the excitement, more than a little bit of the excitement out of Week 18, because mostly we're going to be watching games that don't matter for either of the teams that are playing in a lot of these games on Sunday. So it's going to be weird.
How about those quarterbacks out there Christmas Day?
Yeah, I mean, that was insane.
That looked like UFL stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and if we're being honest, some of those quarterbacks probably should be playing in the UFL instead of the NFL. But, yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot of that this weekend, too, in Week 18.
Right, he went 0-3, but we saw why the Colts turned to a grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, it was ugly. I mean, if I could go back and change it for the Colts, you got to be able to find somebody out there better than him, because it was. I mean, as much as we want to play the fairy tale of it's awesome, it's great that he's back in the league, he wasn't very good. Like, his receivers were making phenomenal catches all afternoon. True. He was 0-3. He wasn't very good. Cool story, but that shows that. I mean, are the options really that great out there in the NFL for backup quarterbacks?
I was really glad because I met him one time. I do not know him, but universally known as just a great guy, great team guy, great league guy, great guy. I was glad he wasn't hauled off in an ambulance.
Yeah, me too. And I mean, look, it was a cool story. I know they were
Which
talking.
I don't want anybody in an ambulance, but I sure don't want a guy that had done enough to not ever have to risk it.
This thing, Brett, just basic logic will tell you that a guy that's 44 years old versus a guy that's 27 years old, there's different levels to that. One is, I think, more likely to be wheeled off in an ambulance. But it was cool yesterday. He had a lot of guys, maybe the entire team, the high school team that he was coaching down in Alabama at the game yesterday. So very cool story. But yeah, I think raises a lot of questions about what is really out there available when you need to get down to that third, fourth string guy that you need to call up.
For that matter, the whole don't get hauled off in an ambulance, that goes for any of them. The next play, it can happen.
Oh, yeah.
I'm worried about Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford, tonight's quarterback.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's both those guys getting up there, and so, I mean, with a lot of these older quarterbacks, you got to look at it. I mean, these defensive lines, they're physical, they're fast, they're athletic. I mean, I would not want to be out there. But speaking of the Colts, since we're talking about Colts and the quarterbacks, got to give Seth Hennigan a shout-out. He was signed to the practice squad earlier today for the Indianapolis Colts, so good for him.
Remember, I mentioned him during all that.
You absolutely did. So he's now on the practice squad with the Colts, so cool to see him back on a practice squad in the NFL.
All that said, give me the Rams tonight. Lay the points at Atlanta. Brian.
I'll go the opposite side. I'll take a stab with Atlanta. I don't know if I really truly believe it, but why not? Give me the Falcons. Landon?
Well, Brett, I'm going to side with you. I'm going to go with the Rams as well.
Probably smart.
2 Rams, 1 Falcon tonight on Monday Night Football. Big 4 for me. For the Rams, number 1, Kurt Warner. Not just the story, but that hose. Golly, he had an arm from every angle. And then that story. Number 2, who he was throwing it to, the Tigers' very own Isaac Bruce. Number 3, who he was handing it to keep him honest, and he was good in Indianapolis before he ended up with the Rams, Marshall Faulk. And number 4, tonight's quarterback, Matthew Stafford.
Wow.
Interesting. Landon?
This is a very, very different list on my end. I actually have 2 OLIs. My first one is a legit OLI. It's Isaac Bruce. And then my other one is just a personal favorite of mine. That's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Got to start with the Rams. Went on to be the
Fitzmagic to you.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Very much so. The most glorious.
My OLI was Aaron Donald.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The most glorious beard in the history of football. My number 4, I went Marshall Faulk. Number 3, Deacon Jones. Number 2, Eric Dickerson. And my number 1 is Aaron Donald.
Right. I like it. My top 4.
I can't argue with any of those.
No, I mean, it's
there's
really
a
good.
lot of people that could have made this list.
No, this was a good list. My number 4, Isaac Bruce. Shout out to the former Tiger. Number 3, Marshall Faulk. Number 2, Aaron Donald. And number 1, Eric Dickerson. So we flipped 1 and 2, Landon.
We all just left out Steven Jackson and Torrey Holt.
Yeah, well, someone had to be left out.
I didn't want to include too many OLIs.
That's right, yeah.
It was Big 4.
Right.
It wasn't Big 10.
Yeah. And
that's a league.
Neither of those guys make my Big 4, unfortunately. So.
All right, for the Atlanta Falcons, number 1, any list, and especially in these prime years, prime time, Deion Sanders and that punt return as a rookie. Everybody knew who he was anyway. If you didn't before that day, you did after that day. Number 2 for me, Julio Jones. 3, Matt Ryan. And number 4, Michael Vick.
I like that list. I like that list a lot, Brett. I'll go with mine next because it is very similar to yours. Number 4 for me, Michael Vick. Number 3, Julio Jones. Number 2, Matt Ryan. And number 1, Deion Sanders.
Wow. Well, Brett, you and I only have one difference. My OLI is Mike Vick, and my number 4 is Tommy Nobis.
Tommy Nobis, and original Falcon, first pick when they were a new franchise. Rankin Smith finally getting the NFL to Atlanta. One of the greatest linebackers ever out of Texas. Who do we have? Why not Tony Gonzalez? Do we think of him more as Kansas City? top 2, 3, 4 tight end
I
of
would
all
have
time
included
with
him as an
Gronk and-
OLI for the Falcons.
Yeah, I would have put him at an OLI. I like Tony Gonzalez. I think of him as a Falcon when I think of him, at least. But I mean, I like my 4 a lot better than not. I shouldn't say a lot better, because he'd probably, if I had an OLI, he'd probably be it. I like my 4 better than Tony Gonzalez.
And that's the big 4 for all of us. That's Monday Night Football preview and pick for this Monday, the last Monday Night Football game of the year. That's kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's
very sad.
weird. It's weird that we're already
Doesn't
to
feel
the last
real.
one. No, it doesn't.
But it is holiday savings time, and nothing says holiday fun like driving home in a new All-Star Chevy from the great people at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. How about a new Traverse or Tahoe? Don't miss the Red Tag event going on now through the clock striking midnight in Olive Branch with big customer cash and financing as low as $0 with your new 26 Silverado or Equinox. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it from the great team led by Drew DePriest and his all-star team at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. Ask them about the extra $2,000 you can get on a new Colorado. If you're one of those people driving one of those other mid-sized trucks, you know who you are. First responders, military, each get an instant extra $500 bonus back this Christmas and into this new year. Let's drive what we really want to drive, and that's something from All-Star. If you got any vehicle you want to sell, bring it to All-Star first thing in the morning and get the most money back for it, whether you bought it at All-Star or not. Drew and everyone wishes all of our audience, everybody out there, a happy 2026 and safe holiday travels. For more information, you can always go to allstarautogroup.com.
Yeah, I feel like today's list was maybe the first time all year where I really just went with the players I like instead of like, you know, I guess that wasn't really the rules of the Big 4 list, but
there are no rules.
I mean, when I
it's
saw
your list, it's your rules.
Yeah, when I saw these
we'll
two
just
teams,
politely disagree sometimes.
I was just like, man, I just want to name my favorite Rams and my favorite Falcons.
That's why I included Fitzmagic.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's a good addition if that's the list you're playing. But we need to
Memphis and Claude Humphrey could be on that Falcon list.
No, definitely could be. That is another good name. But let's get to our final break of the day, and when we return, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist.
When work needs doing or the trail calls, you need a machine that's ready for both. That's Honda's line of Pioneer side-by-sides. Choose the compact 520, the powerful 700 series, or go big with the 1000 line, built for 3, 5, or 6. Visit DeSoto Honda, 5656 Goodman Road in Olive Branch, and find your perfect Honda Pioneer side-by-side. For your safety, read the owner's manual and wear a helmet and eye protection. Always wear your seatbelt and close the side nets and doors when operating. Honda side-by-sides are for letters 16 and older.
Founded in 1991 by lifelong law enforcement officers, ProTech Security can perform all security services for personal or corporate clients. Uniformed armed guard, plainclothes officers, neighborhood patrols, violence in the workplace, event and party security, dignitary protection, and alarm response. Licensed and insured in Mississippi, Arkansas, and Tennessee. They are currently looking for armed security officers, retired law enforcement, and military personnel especially. Premium pay and no limit on hours worked. If interested, give them a call at ProTech Security, 901-274-3400.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At 5 we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. 5 Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finish with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes. Or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger-buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
Ready to shine, Memphis? Drive clean all month long with unlimited wash plans at Club Car Wash. Stop by any 4 club locations in Greater Memphis or visit clubcarwash.com today.
Club Car Wash, join the club.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's favorite vodka for a reason. From the first legal distillery in Texas, Tito's is 6 times distilled till it's just right and naturally gluten-free, making it a high-quality spirit that mixes with just about everything. From the smoothest martinis to the best Bloody Marys, beyond the bottle, Tito's has gained a reputation for giving back, teaming up with nonprofits around the world to serve its communities and do good for dogs. Make your next cocktail with Tito's and learn more at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Say you stand by your man. Tell me something.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need catering? Moe's Taco Truck is always ready to cater for you. Just give Jenny Nash a call at 901-606-3172. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, what I learned today, all the talk over the last week about players returning to college, professionals, guys in the G League, even some rumors and reports on 3's Joe Tipton even reporting that a guy, Trenton Flowers, who has played in several NBA games, could be trying to return to the college ranks, even though a lot of coaches debunking that they were involved in recruiting him. But Jeff Goodman tweeted out just a couple minutes ago that he asked the NCAA whether players with NBA experience were eligible to play in college. The statement he received reads like this, quote, "Schools are recruiting and seeking eligibility for more individuals with more international, semi-pro, and professional experience than ever before, and while the NCAA members have updated many rules following the House injunction, more rules must likely be updated to reflect the choices member schools are making. At the same time, NCAA eligibility rules have been invalidated by judges across the country, wreaking havoc on the system and leading to fewer opportunities for high school students, which is why the association is asking Congress to intervene in these challenges." So basically saying, everybody else is ruining it. We have nothing to do with it. Don't look at us. So,
boy, you know it is a last desperate attempt when you need Congress to save you.
No, it is worst case scenario when you're looking towards Congress.
What I learned today, the TV rating for Ole Miss Tulane, as I said earlier, on campus in Oxford last week came in at the end of last week, and all the college football haters, they love pointing out only 6 million as compared to the big Bama OU number and the big A&M Miami rating. But what they didn't point out, because they're mostly charlatans, is that 6 million beat everything on Christmas Day in the NBA and beat last year's Western Conference Finals average per game for all 5 games in that.
Yeah, and we'll see. We'll see what all these ratings. I'm curious. Like, again, we talked about it earlier. Like a game like the Birmingham Bowl. Like, I'll be curious to see what the rating for that game will be once we learn that. But what I could have done without, I actually just mentioned it with what I learned today, but it was the reporting that was done over the weekend by Joe Tipton, saying that Trenton Flowers, who is on a 2-way contract with the Chicago Bulls and has played in, I believe, 4 or 5 games with the Bulls this season, that he is looking to return to college basketball, and said that up to about 12 to 13 teams had been in contact with him about a return to college basketball. That was quickly debunked by a lot of coaches saying, I don't know why our picture is on there. We haven't reached out to him. We're not interested in him. And it led to a lot of outrage by a lot of people around the country. Everybody needs to calm down about this. Look, I think every agent in the country, when they have a player that isn't to the NBA level, that might be playing in G League or doing whatever, is seeing, hey, is there an opportunity out there? And I think that's the agent's job. They should be doing that. But just because an agent says to a reporter, hey, we're looking to get back into college, that doesn't mean that they are actually going to do that and that they will actually be eligible. Let's all hold off on all of the being upset, the frustration, to if we get to that point where they say he is at this school, he is eligible at that school, then the outrage can happen. But let's slow down on the outrage right now.
I could do without this. I know he looks like Opie Taylor in the old Andy Griffith shows, the Ron Howard character, but when are we going to take Brock Purdy seriously?
That's a good question.
What's he got to do?
Go to a different team and do it on a different team.
So even if he wins it all, that's going to be the albatross.
I think so. It's been it so far. I mean, I don't know why it would change if he won a Super Bowl. I mean, it's just so easy to point to the coach and say, well, he's a quarterback's coach. He can find success in anybody. So I just think it's going to be the same.
I asked the question. You gave a great answer.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I think that's what's going to happen. Where are you beaming tonight?
Monday Night Football in Atlanta. Rams can still be at the top of the seeds. I don't know if they want to be. I don't know if they can be the top. Remember when the Falcons almost hired Bill Belichick, but they didn't because they afraid he was going to be a big meanie in the building, and instead they got stuck with Raheem Morris.
Yes, weird, and it hasn't worked out for him. Beat me, Cavs Spurs later tonight on NBC 7 o'clock. Should be a fun game in the NBA.
All day college basketball tomorrow, including a lot of conference play, but basketball on about every waking moment now through the rest of the week.
Yeah, going to be a lot of fun. All the college basketball, all the bowl games that we have coming up will be a lot of fun to watch. That's all the time we have. A reminder, Ole Miss and Alcorn State pregame starting at 6:30, but enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Guns, guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals.